early.
Isn't that great? Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J Dawg.
Mike, it's good to see you. We're both on the West Coast. I was just telling you, I love like getting up early on the West Coast, like when the East Coast gets up, because that's when I was getting up anyway. So like starting work at 6 a.m. Pacific and wrapping early, hitting the bars early. It's been a good time.
It's a weird feeling when you first moved out here. Like when you actually live here, it's always weird because you always feel behind, but then in the evening you feel ahead. For some reason, if you're always talking to people on the East Coast, you feel like ahead, like, oh, I can stay up until 9 o'clock and watch the UFC fight, which I never knew fights would go on that late until like midnight, 1 o'clock.
You always say that, like Monday Night Football's on at midnight. What?
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, like the West Coast games. So it's nice. You're in
the
Portland,
West Coast is the best.
You're in Seattle.
I'm in Seattle. Don't give away my whole itinerary. 1 week at a time. So I'm in Seattle, loving it. If you're in Seattle right now, you know what I'm experiencing. The weather is amazing. It's great weather. I'm just looking to meet up with like 3 friends and see what happens. So
that's great. Yeah, have some fun out there.
Seattle.
Great city. All right, where do you want to start? We missed last week's show. I feel like the biggest thing. Do you want to play Bullshit or Believe real quick?
Yeah, always.
All right. Here we go.
Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe time. Bullshit or believe.
All right, got a lot of buttons here now. So if you're watching, I'm gonna do this, but right here, Aaron Rodgers. This is what we were.
And how can people watch us, Mike, if they'd rather watch than listen?
Listen, it's very random. We don't really give too much notice, but we go live. Just follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and then you'll know when we're live, and then you can see the visuals, or you can watch us later on YouTube. But Bullshit or Believe, do we actually believe Aaron Rodgers is leaving the Packers? That's the image we're looking at. It's Brett Favre holding Aaron Rodgers' hand, and Brett Favre saying, gut feeling, Aaron's done with the Packers.
This is like an exclusive image you have, because I don't think there's many pictures of the two of them like embracing each other, and this is one of them. We know they didn't get along well in Green Bay. And Favre is saying, gut tells me Aaron Rodgers is done with the Packers. You know, I hate this story, and I told you that 2 weeks ago, and I hate it even more now because it's dominating the headlines, Mike, and apparently it's dominating our show too, and I get it because it's ratings, and it's a slow time of year, ratings. So you put this as the number one story, and I get it, but it bothers me because this is something we should have been talking about for 2 years, because once the Packers drafted Jordan Love, this was always going to happen. And now that Rodgers says something about it, we're all covering it. We should have been way out ahead of this. They drafted Jordan Love as Rodgers' replacement. We knew this was coming. They're jerking him around now because he played well last year after they didn't expect him to play well, because you wouldn't draft Jordan Love if you thought he was going to keep playing at a high level. So none of this is surprising to me. He should go somewhere else. He's upset about it. The Packers have completely butchered the situation.
Do you think it's fair, though, that he's waited this long to do it? Why not do it last year? Did he actually still think he had a shot at the Super Bowl or playoffs? Like it was this. He's like, you know what? I still got something.
We all thought they'd beat the Bucs in the NFC Championship game, right?
Well, after we saw that regular season game where they got blew out and Rodgers, threw 3 interceptions, like the most he's ever had.
I still thought the Bucs would lose that game.
I know, but so it's weird that it took this long and now he's irritated. I think something shifted in his life, right? He broke up with Danica Patrick, then randomly got married to a celebrity, and now is on Celebrity Jeopardy hosting. Yeah. I think he might be weirdly almost done. Like, to me, if you told me the odds were in the favor of him retiring or him going to another team, I'd say retiring more than going to another team, right? Like, it seems like he's the kind of guy that wants to stay there. But didn't you hear some of the stories about him like yelling at like the GM, like getting in a fight, like they had to pull them away from each other? Did you see that article?
I did, and I don't have a problem with Rodgers doing that. I mean, they're jerking him around, and I don't know. You're always like a players guy. I feel like you should be supporting Rodgers more than you are right now, I guess.
Well, I'm not a big Rodgers supporter. So
I know, but you're a player. You support the player more than the franchise.
I do support the player, but I think sometimes it's hard to support it when he saw the writing on the wall last year, but he didn't do anything about it. So it
sounds like he's been mad since that draft, and he was mad all last year, but he played and he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything publicly here. Now Schefter broke the story and it's out there. Rodgers still hasn't come out and said any of this is true. So he's not the one out there speaking to reporters and doing interviews about it. He doesn't want attention about it. It's just that the Packers somehow leaked it and now it's out there, and it's very clear what's going on, I think.
So I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if this is like out there in the news, but I thought of the greatest trade package ever to get Aaron Rodgers off the team. Because, all right, let's assume he's playing until this year. Next year, trade him. Now, the only place you would go that would feel like an even exchange, maybe not even, maybe somebody would win here. And I think I know who would win. But basically, Packers and Seahawks trade Russell Wilson for Aaron Rodgers, swap teams. Russell goes over here to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers goes over here. You play the teams. You're over there. You're doing your own thing. It seems like it makes the most sense. It's like the one-to-one trade. Now, maybe you could have done this with Deshaun at some point, but I don't know if he's playing. I don't know what legally is going on with him anymore. There's like more and more people keep coming forward. So I think right now this is the only trade that you could possibly pull off, like one-to-one.
I kind of agree with you because Rodgers for any draft picks doesn't make a lot of sense because how many draft picks do you give up for a quarterback so old? Like if it was Deshaun Watson, you give up all these first round picks because you know if his legal troubles are behind him, he's going to be young and make plays for you for years. Rodgers is like, well, he was not great 2 years ago. So are you going to give up 4 first round picks? And what if he's not great? And then you kind of wasted several years of your franchise. So I think like a quarterback for quarterback swap makes a lot of sense. The one that I keep seeing is the Raiders and Derek Carr.
Yeah,
I don't like Derek Carr. Like I don't think that does anything for the Packers, but
just play Jordan Love
a few times. Yeah.
Like don't play Derek Carr. But isn't it weird that has there ever been a trade for a quarterback like this? Like didn't Brett Favre just basically his contract was up and he got to choose where he went to the Jets when he went to the Jets or the Vikings or something like that? It's almost at some point you don't hold your value anymore and you're just signing these cheap contracts. Now, like Cam Newton, maybe he's already at that stage where it's just like, hey, signing you to another year. Let's see what you got. But it almost seems a little different with Tom Brady. He knew he's coming in like signing me 3 years. I can go wherever we want. The NFL doesn't do big trades like this. They're not fun. They don't do packages and like NBA super max trades. It's like, I want to keep my asset and I'm not trading you a goddamn thing. So that's all that could make sense to me. I don't know.
Well, they're on their way to being more like the NBA with the way that the players are now controlling the narrative, right? Like we saw Russell and Deshaun Watson in the offseason. Now we see Aaron Rodgers. It's like they're in different ways, even if they're roundabout ways, they're going out there and asking for trades, just like a James Harden would when he got fat and told the Rockets to trade him to Brooklyn. And they did. Like they listened to him. And if you want the NFL to turn into the NBA, it's going down that road. I don't think it's a good road to go down, but it seems like we're about there.
I got another bullshit or believe. The schedule came out for the NFL. And
I hate this too. Maybe it's just a J Dawg Takes On episode. Mike, the schedule release.
No, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not doing the schedule. I'm just talking about the damn Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing
This is not an attack on you. I'm mad at the schedule release because everyone cares about it. Why do people
I don't care about this. I do not care about the goddamn schedule release, Jeremy. Okay. I care that Tampa Bay, Tom Brady over here, he is getting an easy layup win. His first game, Thursday Night Football, playing your boy Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Why is he playing the Dallas Cowboys? Is it just like we feel bad for you, Tom? You get to play the Dallas Cowboys? I think it's like it's an unwatchable game to me. I don't want to watch it. Tom Brady's going to win.
It's definitely not unwatchable after 9 months of no football. And you know you're going to watch it because it's going to be on at 5 o'clock your time and the sun will be out in LA and you're going to watch that shit.
I know.
We thought it would be the Buffalo Bills because that's a better matchup, right? Like Josh Allen and Tom Brady, like that's a better matchup.
Competition, yeah.
I think you're wrong about the Cowboys. I think they're bouncing back this year. I think Dak will be healthy. Their offense will be lit. Their defense will be much improved. Don't play any buttons on me.
These depressing horns.
You can't find them.
I can't even find them.
And so it's a great matchup for TV. You know, the ratings are going to love. Yeah, the ratings are going to love the Cowboys and the Bucs. Dak and Jerry Jones against Brady.
No,
exactly.
That's what I'm looking for.
I have no problem with it. And the Cowboys probably win the game, by the way.
All right, we'll take bets on it. I think it just doesn't make sense to me. Dak Prescott coming off an injury, coming back, playing football against the Super Bowl champions that basically did not lose a player. And you think they're going to have it doesn't. I saw this. I'm like, who's making this schedule? Did Jerry Jones pay off the NFL to say, put me in the spotlight? My boy Dak is back. We're playing. Who's left on that team? What wide receivers do they have? Who do they have?
They have CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup and probably Jason Witten still and Zeke Elliott. And they drafted a bunch of defensive players. They're going to be great. I'm not worried about the Cowboys at all. I have a few rapid fire bullshit or beliefs for you.
Get it.
The first one, the Bears will regret drafting Justin Fields instead of Mac Jones. The more I think about this, they gave up a lot of picks to move up and get Justin Fields. Mac Jones was just sitting there the whole time. I think Mac Jones will be better. Bullshit or belief?
I believe it. Also, Justin Fields looked super depressed about getting that phone call. Be like, we got you for the Bears, bro. It's like, yeah, cool. That's great. Yeah, really appreciate it. Awesome. And they're so excited on the, like, you see the coach talk. He's like, yeah, we're so pumped for you to be here. And they're like hugging after they're getting off the phone with them. And he's like, I don't care. I don't want to be at this team.
I agree with you. I think they should have taken Mac Jones. I like those behind the scenes draft videos where like they release the call from the team. I think it's good. Here's another one. The Chargers with Justin Herbert and a new offensive line can win the AFC West. Bullshit or believe?
Remind me who's in the AFC West again?
The Chiefs.
Okay.
That's the headliner.
I don't think they could win it, but I think they are very competitive. I love that kid. They're a watchable team all of a sudden because years ago, not watchable.
I think Anthony Lynn, their coach, held him back a lot too.
He's gone now, right?
He's gone. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I think they can win it. That's why I wrote the question that way, because the Chiefs didn't really get better this offseason. I haven't seen them add much, except they blew up their offensive line, which got dominated in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs will be a force, obviously, and they'll win a lot of games. The Chargers might be able to stick with them. Here's the bullshit or believe. On the other LA team, Mike, the Rams are loading up on talent with Matthew Stafford. Bullshit or believe, the Rams can win the Super Bowl.
That's a big bullshit for me. There's no way that Matthew Stafford is that much better than Jared Goff. Right? They're like almost
it's
equal.
Possible.
Are they not semi-equal?
We don't know how good Stafford is because he's been on a losing franchise his whole life.
I'm trying to think of a good analogy. I was like, oh, what about like burgers? Like, I guess a Shake Shack, to me, a Shake Shack burger is much better than an In-N-Out burger. But they're kind of the same. They're both good in their own way, but they're mediocre. They're fast food. You know what you're getting, and that's what I feel like.
What if Jared Goff is actually a Burger King burger, and then Shake Shack is actually Stafford? Because then it's much better, right?
I don't know how much better it is though, because sometimes a Burger King burger, those like big burgers they make, are pretty good, or like the Baconator at Wendy's, like they're all kind of the same meat. They're all fast food. I don't know. I don't think it's a big upgrade for him. Matthew Stafford, he's not an exciting player. He gets frustrated a lot. And over the years of betting on him during Thanksgiving, I'm over him. I don't want to see it. Good thing I don't get to see him on Thanksgiving. Now I have to watch
you need
Jared
to give
Goff.
him a chance. Yeah. It'll be Jared Goff and the Lions in that terrible first game that we can miss. Right. That'll come out in the schedule release. One more bullshit or believe before we get out of that one. The Dolphins can win the AFC East because there's been a lot of talk about who can challenge the Bills. And some people think it's the Dolphins. We've had a great offseason. The draft was on the defensive side. We got the playmaker for Tua. Okay. He's going to be healthy. Give it to me, Mike. Tell me.
Listen, I'm gonna believe it if I see something from Tua, because Tua was a little disappointing as a fantasy owner of Tua.
Yeah.
I did not see, and sometimes I heard it in your voice too when we spoke every week during the football season. Kind of like, he's not there. And like, why is Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in to throw the ball? Like, what's really happening? I hope it was just nerves. We saw what Justin Herbert did, just coming in like, hey, dude, you got to play today. We stuck a hole in our boy's lung, and he just played. Tua.
Yeah, that was like a sabotage.
That
was a weird one. Yeah, I know it was up and down with Tua. He was coming off the hip surgery. And I admitted recently before the legal troubles that I was ready to trade Tua and draft picks for Deshaun Watson. Until that becomes a possibility again, maybe next year. Let's ride with Tua. Let's ride with the boys. Yes, they can win the AFC East. It might be unlikely. The Bills are pretty stacked, but I think the Dolphins will be the second best team, better than the Patriots.
I 100% agree that they'll be better than the Patriots. I want to see what's going on. I thought they were great. They were fun to watch last year. Fun to gamble on. It was a wild year to gamble on football, so hopefully this year is a little more normal, because that's
I don't think it will be. Let's get to a quick Scandal City. Can we do that?
Ooh, I got a Scandal City too. If I can find the bumper, when it gets further away from me, I can't.
He'll find it, guys. He'll find it.
Dig up the dirtiest stories around the sport world in this week's Scandal City.
So this is scandalous, and I know you have one too, but just talking about Deshaun Watson, the Texans didn't have a first or a second round pick in the draft. Their first pick was in the third round, which is not what you want when you're a team that needs a quarterback and you're rebuilding, but they made that awful Laramie Tunsil trade with the Dolphins. So at least they have a left tackle that they're paying a lot of money to. So they pick in the third round for the first time, and they have all these needs, right? They could use like a receiver, they could use defensive help. What did they do? They drafted a quarterback. And it's very telling to me because their GM is brand new. Their head coach is brand new. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a top pick to get one of the good quarterbacks. And yet still in the third round, like the 100th pick or whatever it was, they took a quarterback, which means to me, Deshaun Watson is 100% out. You don't sign Tyrod Taylor. You don't draft a quarterback that early if you think he's going to sit behind anyone for any length of time. I think Watson is 100% out of Houston, and now we just need to figure out if it's for the legal reasons and he gets in trouble there, or if they trade him once the season starts, because now they have a bunch of quarterbacks on their roster. They don't even need them.
Well, could it be a backup to not a backup to Tyrod, but like we know the abilities of Tyrod enough to know that maybe he's not going to win us games, but maybe this guy that we just drafted, which I don't know anything about, could be our guy that could back up, or he could be a great trade asset down the road if we can get him to play some games. Because we always see those like guys that are out there playing. Like I know Matthew Stafford went down last year, and there's some hustling guys out there throwing the ball, or the guy that backed up Jared Goff. Like sometimes you see him like, okay, all right, maybe he could play, maybe he's not bad. So maybe it's trade bait, but I hope Deshaun plays, because at that point Houston is just a mess of a team. Could be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, they will be. And that's another reason I was kind of puzzled why they took a quarterback when they did in the third round, because they'll probably be terrible and have like the first pick of next year's draft where all these quarterbacks are available. Yeah. So it does make you wonder what the thought process is. But I think Deshaun is 100% done. Won't be in Houston, so it just depends on what the reason is why.
All right, I'm going to throw it back, Jeremy. I'm going all the way back to 2013. Our boy right here. We're bringing up Tebow. This guy right here getting signed, maybe. There are a lot of rumors getting signed to the Jags. And I like this tweet. I don't know why I liked it so much, but it just shows like, he's friends with the coach, getting signed to the team. You're a tight end all of a sudden. You used to be a quarterback. One clip of you out there, which I don't have. I wish I actually had this clip of Tim Tebow being a tight end trying to catch the ball. He did not catch the ball. I hit him in the head. What do you think? Does this sound a scandal or what? They're bringing him back.
Yeah, the Jags are bringing him back. It's pretty much official now. So this tweet says this Tebow deal just shows that personal relationships go further at this level than actual ability. And it's something I've seen a lot, Mike, this week of guys in the league and around the league talking about how he doesn't deserve a chance. And Urban Meyer is playing with fire because it could lose the locker room if he's like dropping balls in practice. And he's clearly not good when there's like other guys who have played tight end their whole life who are more deserving of a chance. And of course, race comes into it because Tebow's white and a lot of football players are not. So I think that's going to be an issue as we go forward. I think Tebow from a leadership perspective is great to have on the team. I get it, even to mentor like Trevor Lawrence. That's like a coach. Like none of your offensive coaches are as prestigious as Tim Tebow. So he becomes like the most prestigious coach for Trevor Lawrence in a way, which I think helps him out.
Does it hurt the locker room at all? Because if you were Trevor Lawrence coming into the team, you just got signed to the Jags, Jeremy. You are now the rookie quarterback of the team. You come in, and there's this guy that kneels and prays every game and like does all this stuff and like hypes everybody up with, maybe more of a preacher like presence in the room.
Yeah.
Does it take away from your ability to lead the room at all? Because I think it's hard when there's a guy with such a big presence that you need to show that you're the leader. And I understand Tebow's probably a great guy. You met him once, right? Didn't you say he was a great guy? Remembered your name?
He was super nice. He knew everyone's name on the set. It was crazy. He's a super nice guy. I think he'll only help the locker room. I'm not buying the scandal side of it and that he's going to hurt it. I can buy the scandal side and the fact that he might not deserve it because he's a washed quarterback and he's a washed baseball player. Don't forget, like you may have a favorite play where he dropped that ball that you're talking about. My favorite play is when he threw the touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas on the quick slant against the Steelers in the playoffs. And for that reason, Tim Tebow has more playoff wins as a quarterback than someone like Andy Dalton, who still is in the league making $10 million a year.
Hey, good for him. You got to hustle the system, right? I have one more Scandal City. This refers to your boy, Dak Prescott. So Forbes put out a list of the top paid athletes, and your boy Dak, not only he jumped from like not even being on the list to being number 4 wealthiest player in all of sports, not the NFL, in all of sports. There's like 3 other guys above him that get paid a lot more money, and Dak is here. I have like a little. So Prescott earns $31 million from his 1-year franchise tender in 2020, and this offseason he signed a $160 million extension, which includes a $66 million signing bonus.
So that was Jerry Jones feeling bad for the broken leg and wanted to write him a check for $66 million, which, Mike, you can come over here and shatter my leg all over this house I'm staying in, and I'll take the $66 million. You can do whatever the hell you want to my leg.
I mean, he also paid the NFL to give him a primetime slot at starting playing the Super Bowl champion. So Jerry's doing it all.
Story we're all tuning in for.
I don't understand how he's getting paid this much. If you quiz somebody, I should have quizzed you. I should have said, Who are the top 3 highest paid players in the NFL? I don't know, but right now, it is Dak because he's higher paid than anybody else in the NFL.
Mike, Dak Prescott is a speculative stock. He is Roku or Square or PayPal. He's not what he's going to be in the future. It's going to be much higher and much more successful in the future. So you might as well buy it now and let it ride and see what happens.
I'm probably not. I have one more scandal. I mean, do we care about the Kentucky Derby winner testing positive for steroids?
Sure. Tell me about it.
He was tested positive for steroids on a second place win. So I don't know if the casinos give your money back for if you bet on this guy.
No, it's official. They already paid him out. But Bob Baffert, the trainer, went on Fox News on Monday morning after this came out, and he said a drunk person urinated near the stall where the hay was being kept, and the horse ate the hay where the man urinated, and the man had a cough, so he was on cough syrup. Horse ingested the cough syrup. That was Monday. By Tuesday afternoon, Bob Baffert issued a statement apologizing for giving real drugs to the horse, and he backtracked from his urine story claim. That's the scandal here that I enjoy. That this bullshit trainer who's won like every Kentucky Derby, like we all know what he looks like. Once a year, we see him at the track. It's like, oh, take one of his horses; it's going to win, and it always does. But he's pretty scandalous in the end.
I love it. I mean, good for him. He tried. I don't know.
Not good for him.
Not good for him, but like it was a good effort. He tried. He tried to get away with it. He's drugging his horse. I have one thing here. It was like some big dick energy. Did you see this video of the Steelers punter? I know we're doing a lot of interacting right now. I don't know if this is actually going to work.
No. Are you pulling up a TikTok live here? This is great.
I'm pulling up a TikTok live. This is the Steelers punter they drafted. I don't know what position, like 3rd round or something like that, right? This was like a very high draft pick. But they drafted a punter, which we're trying to get to. And his punt, he's like a...
No, they did not.
They
drafted that guy?
I think so.
Mike's pulling up a video right now of an offensive lineman kicking a football.
Yeah, so there's no sound. I don't know if we're going to be able to hear any of the sound anyways. But he's a big boy. Big boy. Big foot. Boy. And I don't know if this was the... No, you can't hear it. It's just going through there.
I can hear it a little bit.
This guy's like going through talking about like comparing him to Steph Curry, all this stuff. This guy's a big unit. So imagine a dude with a lot of weight on him that maybe should not be in a punter's uniform, maybe a lineman. And he's the 254th pick. So I thought that's pretty high up there. Basically, he's got a big ass leg and he's going to be their punter. I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was kind of funny. You never see drafting of punters.
Well, they were supposed to take an offensive lineman in the first round, and they took a running back instead. So I think that guy's going to actually play right guard.
He's going to play 2 positions
of the preseason and just try to get some reps in on the line too, because it looks like he's got the size for us. I think that's what they were thinking: get the punter, offensive lineman combo all at once.
Anything else you want to talk about? Because I have some hangover hotline. I have some notes from our YouTube.
Do fans. A hotline. We have to get out of here in a second, but do a hotline and then we'll get out.
All right, so
are these comments?
These are comments on our YouTube videos. I've never actually looked at any of these. So 9 months ago, Ruin Nation commented on our Tebow. Tim Tebow was blackballed from the NFL. Now, let me just tell you, this video came out in 2013. And he just recently...
So he wasn't blackballed, was he?
He wasn't blackballed. It was just not good.
It just took 8 years to get back.
So yeah, he said Tebow was blackballed. So I guess that was like one of his comments. He just had to let us know like 10 years later that that's what happened.
Well, he's actually back. So he's the opposite of blackballed.
Tony Romo overpaid as Cowboys fans unite against Jerry Jones. So this was a video that we did years ago. And this guy, King of Game, says, as I said before, media will make anything into storyline. Jerry Jones always overpays for players. And this was 1 month ago. So
I don't know who he's told before. He hasn't told us that one, but thank you for telling us for the first time. Yeah, the media does overhype everything. That's our job. That's why we talked about Aaron Rodgers in this show. Yeah, Tony Romo was paid too much, just like Dak Prescott's paid too much, and Jerry Jones can afford it, and he's going to fly everywhere in his private plane and on his yacht, and he's fine with this. So I would love to
be friends with Jerry. I'd love to be the quarterback of Jerry's team because Jerry wants to overpay you.
I would love to be a fan of Jerry's team.
Yeah,
not as the GM Jerry, just owner Jerry.
Yeah, owner Jerry. And this is one of your hot takes. Why are NBA stars missing so many games? And Jackson Matthews, he says, thank you for talking about this. NBA players miss a ridiculous amount of games. And he just wanted to comment. This was 2 days ago. And he just wanted to give you some props. So I just want to shout you out, J Dawg.
We should have Jackson on the show because it's an underreported story and we're trying to get it out there. We can only do so much ourselves. So the idea that Jackson's into it and we've got people commenting on it, where are the NBA players? Are they going to come back for the playoffs? We don't know, but we need to continue investigating because that's what TSH does. If you missed that show, go down a few shows. It's in the headline, Why are NBA players missing so many games? It's a thorough breakdown. There's percentages, there's stats, there's theories.
Went deep. You went deep dive on this NBA players.
It was pretty good.
Games. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Just a couple weeks ago.
Very impressed. Yeah, those TSH investigates, which was a really good. I like that. That's all I got. You got anything else? You got J Dawg takes on this week or no?
I do, but we're going to save it for next week because that's what a tease is all about. So come back next week. Subscribe now. Come back. We're selling swag as well. Memorial Day is coming. July 4th is coming. The Roaring 20s are coming. You want to look good, feel good, play good, drink good. You do it with your Sports Hangover merch on thesportshangover.com.
That's right. That's right. Go to sportshangover.com. And if we don't get arrested in Melissa reviews, hopefully we are back next week.